Hi. Which one's different? Does the language we use influence the way that we view and experience the world? This idea is known as the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis or linguistic relativity. This idea came around in the 1940s and everyone loved it. Then it kind of fell out of popularity. It was really difficult to research and study this idea. But recently, it's come back up in academics, and people have done more research, and it's a little more nuanced than the original proposition, but there's something there. So the idea of linguistic relativity is that the words that we use influence the way that we think, which then influences the way that we experience the world. So what does this mean? What does this look like? You might have heard that the Eskimo language has multiple words for snow, whereas in English we only have one. Likewise, in Laos, there are multiple words for rice, whereas in the US, we only have one. We have some adjectives that go with rice, like fried rice or white rice or brown rice, but it's still describing rice, whereas in Laos, that actual noun is different. In Luganda, there are multiple words for fear, different types of fear. In Arabic, there are different words for shame, whereas in the US, we only have one. Now, this works both ways as well. In English, we have multiple words for rain. Is it drizzling? Is it pouring in the South? Is it spitting rain, right? Going back to Arabic, they have really only one word for it. And incidentally, it is also the same word as winter. It doesn't matter nearly as much if it's pouring versus is it drizzling. Whereas in English, we need to know, okay, do we need like an umbrella or do we need like a full raincoat and rain boots and all of that for the day? You might be saying, cool, but at the end of the day, snow is snow, rice is rice, fear is fear, shame is shame, rain is rain, blue is blue, green is green, right? Maybe not. Let's talk about a very popular study done with the Himba tribe in Namibia. It was looking at linguistic relativity with the way that we visualize colors, okay? So take a look at this. So this is the way that the Himbas classify their colors. These are buru, this is dambu, and this is zuzu. So there are 3 different color classifications within the Himba classification of color. You see that? So in this study, researchers took participants, both English speakers as well as people from the Himba tribe, and gave them these 2 circles and said, go ahead, pick out the odd one. Which one of these things doesn't belong? Which one doesn't belong within these 2 circles of squares? English speakers universally choose this one. This is the odd one out. Whereas the Himbas almost universally chose this one as the odd one out. So to my eyes as an English speaker, I say, it's clearly this one. Like, this is so obvious. That one, I mean, yeah, it's a little different. Maybe if I like squint and like get really technical, I guess it's a little different, but it's not different enough to not be green, right? Like, these are still all green. This is blue. This is obviously the different one. The Himba did not see it that way. Because of the way they have their color classification, they essentially did the same thing. I mean, yeah, I guess if I squint and you get really technical, but like, these are all still the same. This is the weird one. This is the one that doesn't belong. Unless you think that one circle is all the same, you can kind of see the computer color codes that this one is slightly different. Again, or slightly different according to my eyes. This is slightly different. But again, to the Himba, this was very starkly different. So what does that mean? What it means is that the Himba tribe made different meaning because of their cultural construct being different. Their cultural construct was different in large part because of the language that they employ. Now, there are other studies that have done similar linguistic relativity studies, some on olfaction, senses of smell, things like that. But this is really, it's a good visual. It's very easy. You can see that we English speakers categorize and view this in a completely different way than the Himba tribe in Namibia view and experience the exact same thing. So we now have, for all of the videos I've done, we now have cognitive appraisal of stress. We have cultural expressions of distress, and now we have linguistic relativity. What do all of those have to do with trauma? That's where we're getting to next. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please ask them. As always, I will have the references to all of this here. There are also other content creators who have explained the same study with the Himba. So if you're interested, you can go and look it up. That study is available to the public. You don't need to have an academic publication license or anything to access it. Bye.